to the U.S., where stock futures climbed early on Friday as the Dow Jones Industrial Average looked to add to this week's gains, which have led to the 30 stock average to an all-time high. We see Dow futures rose by 0.26%, S&P 500 futures inched up also by a similar margin, and we see the Nasdaq 100 futures rising 0.33%. Now the major averages are headed for their 7th straight positive week. Now let's hear more on how the indexes performed yesterday from Maria Bird.
The U.S. stock market was up on Thursday, and stocks that were sensitive to the interest rate hikes are also showing rallying on the day on Thursday, as the Federal Reserve announced we could see cuts in 2024. The Dow Jones was up at 0.4%, its second straight day of breaking records. And the S&P 500 was up at 0.2%. And the heavy tech Nasdaq was also up at 0.2%. Many investors are hopeful and watching to see what will happen till the end of the year. And the last meeting of the Federal Reserve on Wednesday made great announcements for many investors. And it appears that there will be no more hikes before the end of the year. And there could be up to 3 interest rate cuts in 2024. This pivot has many investors hopeful, and this could mean the U.S. economy is up, going in an upward swing. It is also showing that the real estate market showed a 3% increase, which could mean the real estate market is going to be strong in 2024.
Thanks, Maria. Now, as we embark on the journey into 2024, the African financial landscape stands at a pivotal juncture, shaped by the lessons learned in the preceding year and poised for new opportunities and challenges in the coming years to come. Now, in navigating the intricate dynamics of the African financial markets, we also saw the Africa's cross-border security trading and the African Exchange Linkage Project. Benjamin Boshi is the chief economist at Second Stacks. He joins us from Accra, Ghana. Good afternoon, Benjamin. It's good to have you on the program.
Thanks for having me.
We're looking at an overall assessing what happened in 2023, this year as we're about to end. What are the key trends or developments that you feel shaped the financial landscape in Africa, and what's currently shaping it at the moment?
Sure. I'll start in Ghana because I think Ghana pretty much set the trend for a lot of the continent. Because as you probably know, and I'm sure many of your viewers know, Ghana went through a very elaborate debt restructuring program, which saw its domestic debt get exchanged, and is currently working on getting its external debt restructured. And Ghana also locked in an IMF deal, which will support the budget for the Ghanaian economy over the next 3 years. And that support is coming in tranches. But it also requires Ghana to adhere to certain pretty strict governance targets. So looking back on the year, it was definitely a tumultuous year, but looking forward, there's some structural support built into what the Ghanaians will see next year. Moving to Kenya, it was a little bit of a difficult year there as well. The currency depreciation was pretty intense. To the point which Parliament was issuing threats to the central bank governor and the other members of the economic management team, basically saying if they don't get the house in order in short order in early 2024, there'll be consequences. So we're going to be looking for pretty structural reforms, focusing on the currency in particular in Kenya. And then in Africa's largest economy, Nigeria, was also a very difficult year. The Nigerian naira saw a pretty steep devaluation. But Nigeria is in a new government. There was an election recently. President Tinubu has come in. He's managed to put his team in place. So we're probably going to be looking for some broad structural reforms there. This is a government that has its mandate, and it obviously has a task ahead of it. So you can look for some pretty big swings. And Nigeria. Yeah. So go ahead.
Okay, so you're looking at you just mentioned all the regulatory, the economic policy shifts that we saw this year and that has been shaping, financial transactions, the financial markets. I want to know, your second stacks is big on technology here. How has this technology influenced the financial markets, and what role does innovation play in shaping investment strategies?
Yeah, definitely. For context, as I'm sure you know, the African Continental Free Trade Agreement is starting to really ramp up in 2024 and beyond. So cross-border trading of securities, movement of capital, goods, services, and humans. These are all things that we expect to intensify in 2024 and beyond. And the way to be successful with this continental integration is certainly the leveraging of technology. So, like as you mentioned, cross-border securities trading, we think is going to see unprecedented levels in 2024, and Kenya has gone visa-free in 2024, and a couple other countries are also taking steps to ensure free movement of persons across the continent. So, I think 2024 is going to be a banner year for continental integration. And as you mentioned, yes, technology is going to be key to succeeding on that front.
So we're looking at another aspect now, which is what we're saying, climate change. And you see the recent consensus reached at COP. With growing emphasis on sustainability, how are environmental, social, and governance, as the ESG factors, influencing investment decisions in the African markets? Can you just shed more light as to what to expect for 2024? If we have any milestones that have been hit this year, or are there any things, or are there factors that should be considered going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a major push towards restructuring the entire architecture of ESG, of concessionary financing for the continent, for impact. And in 2023, it was a difficult year globally. So I don't think we were able to see all of the metrics hit that we would have liked. So I would expect to see a redoubling of the efforts in 2024. Not to shift too far into the COP discussion, but you did see some progress there. I think you'll have a guest who will make some more comments on that. But more importantly, for 2024, I would expect a lot of multilateral continental activity, right, to push the impact front, the ESG metrics, and making sure that our partners are living up to the promises that they make. Because in the broader context of continental integration, ensuring that the most vulnerable on the continent are taken care of is always going to be paramount and foremost.
Thank you so much, Benjamin Bochi, Chief Economist at Second Stacks, for joining us on Business Incorporated and sharing your insights.
Thank you.